What about Mac Jones? What to read out of that? I know you want to bury it, but that fourth quarter was pretty damn good. Certainly that throw to Hunter Henry out of the outstretched arms of Darius Leonard, like that's the good stuff. That's what you might need in January, on occasion. So
he is so amazingly resilient. I mean, and we've seen it all the way through camp, from tiny play-to-play bounce backs to bad practice to the next day, unbelievable practice bounce backs, to even in the Chargers game. Remember, we've talked about that, Rich, a couple times on this show. You were there that day.
Yep.
You watched the game. I took that as a huge game for him in that for 3 quarters, he played like a rookie and like a C-level NFL starter. And in the fourth quarter, when they needed a clinching drive, he was pretty much lights out. So he bounced back in that game. I would imagine that this week, if he holds true to form, he will play a hell of a lot better than he did last week, because he always has bounced back. But at some point, though, when you've gone through what he's gone through in the last year, without cease, from Alabama to the draft process, to beating out Cam, to a 17-week regular season, at some point I just say, I'm done, man. I need to just close my eyes here for a minute.
And he doesn't appear to be doing that. So what is the approach for this game this week? Do they take out that passing game that they didn't need a couple weeks ago and just throw that out there? I know Bill was even joking about that after the game. Like, yeah, we were talking about, like, we could use the passing game in a couple weeks because we didn't use it tonight. Or what is the sense? Like, that 3-pass night against Buffalo, is it right or wrong to say that is the way that the Patriots look at Mac Jones when it comes down to winning football games? I think it's the way that the Patriots played, depending on all circumstances and the circumstances of the weather. So, but you hear the conversation.
It has more to do with the way they look at the Bills. It's not how they look at Mac Jones. It's how they look at the Bills. And if they say, well, they kind of got a soft underbelly there, let's throw some body shots, then they'll do that. But if they had a weak chin and they thought that they needed to hit up high and they wanted to throw, they would let Mac do that. I think it has much less to do with the nature of the quarterback than it does the nature of the opponent. And this week, I just don't know how Buffalo can magically wave a wand and be better in the front seven against the run. So if I were the Patriots, I would approach it exactly the same way as they did the last time around. And until they stop it, keep hammering it. But what'll be interesting is they're kind of forced to approach that way as well, because Nelson Aguilar's got a concussion, N'Keal Harry's got a hip injury, and Kendrick Bourne is in COVID protocols. He could be out by then. But that's your wide receiver room, except for Jacoby Myers.
What is the wide receiver room? Like, how, I don't.
At the end of the hall, down the line.
I know. I just, right. I mean, it is, what, would you say it's the weakest link on this team? Would you say that? Or is that unfair? Unfair. Go for it.
It's the most, it's.
What is it?
Oh boy. It's,
right.
They're not going to give you A+ work. They're going to give you a lot of 78s to 81s. Okay,
C plus,
B minus.
Yep.
Needs improvement.
They're never going to give you a 67 either. They're just not going to turn that test in, and you have to go, what were you doing? That's their ceiling, is 78 to 81. And that's the interesting thing about this offense, is a lot of those skill positions are populated by guys like that. There is no Gronk. There is no Edelman. There's no James White, who could occasionally turn in a 93 for you. They don't have guys who can turn in A days. So you need everybody to make sure that they have their 78 or above.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think that kid Stevenson.
Do you like that analogy?
I do. I think it's great. No, I really do. I think that kid Stevenson can, though, right? And Harris, I mean, the way that he hops in the hole, sometimes the way that he avoids contact, he is really talented. And that's the question, is like, which team will make the Patriots throw to beat them? Which team is going to put it on Mac Jones in a January cold day or a January crucible on the road? Which team is going to do that? Which team is going to force the Patriots to have to do that? And that's why I keep returning to the Colts a little bit, because that's what they did. That's what they did.
Yeah, but I don't think – but the Colts can't run and hide the way Kansas City can.
Okay, then that's – well, yes, in theory, that's another one of those, obviously. Because, the Chargers could against certain teams, but not New England. I mean, that's why I'm trying to, sort of hunt and peck here.
Kansas City can just, the Colts were aided by the Patriots. Kansas City could go touchdown on you, and you really didn't even do anything wrong. You're down 21-0. I mean, we've seen them do that in the playoffs.
Right.
But so that would be a team that would put the onus on the Patriots to say, okay, well, we came in one to be balanced, but we got to throw now. But I really don't think that there's a lot about Mac Jones' game that would make me say, okay, party's over. I'm going to go, take the decorations down. I still think he has enough that he could perform in a desperate, you got to throw it 55 times game. I really do.
Well, I mean, again, the kid's played in big games before. I mean, he just has. He's played in big games. He's played in championship games. He's a self-made kid. He's taken coaching clearly very well, it just was can't win. That's why I just basically, racked that one up to the can't win them all category. Like New England wasn't going to win out, but that's what makes this weekend so big, because you could knock them out.
Are you happy that it's at 1 o'clock, or would you rather it be a prime time or a 4 o'clock?
I
like it at 1.
Sometimes, man, you got to serve some filet mignon for breakfast. Sometimes it's what you got to do.
But it would be a little colder at night, though.
Got to get your steak with your eggs.
I know, but these guys are built for the cold. Well, actually, Mac Jones, we'll see.
All right,
they already had an element game. I like crystal clear, warm. I don't even know what the weather is, but
we talked about it yesterday. It's 40 degrees, partly cloudy. That's it. That's all you're gonna get. So I'm with you too. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.